Welcome to the Seer Show. Join us as we dive into the dynamic world of health, wellness, mindset, and fitness with the unparalleled guidance of lifelong knowledge seekers, Sifu Raphael and Nikki Gangemi. Sifu and Nikki will unlock groundbreaking insights with extraordinary guests from around the globe. You'll get the latest holistic approaches to well-being with a sharp focus on the powerful connection between mind, body, and soul. Get ready to take the leap. It's time to embrace a brighter and healthier future with us at the Seer Show.
5, 4,
Nikki, how are you on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday?
I am excellent, Sifu. How are you doing?
Exceptional, getting better every day. But you know, I'm super excited for today because we have two exceptional guests, and we're going to be talking about unleashing success. Woo. And let's go ahead. Are you ready for them?
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's go ahead and bring them. We got Tina and Richard. Thank you both for joining us on the Seer Show. How are you both?
We are awesome. I'm awesome.
Yes, you are.
There's a bigger word. I'm better than that. I'm even more than awesome. So epic. I think epic is the top, right? They have no more words after epic. So
I love that word.
Oh, yeah. Epic. Something with those E words. Epic, exceptional.
Exquisite.
Exquisite. Yes.
enthusiastic, energetic, engaging. We can keep going. Yes.
Love it.
Let's not forget probably the most important one, everybody or everyone.
Right.
Let's include them all. Wow. So today is going to be an amazing show because you both are amazing at what you do. And I am actually just thrilled to be able to sit here and absorb because I learn everyone I ever speak with. So today is Unleashing Success. And Tina, you had started talking to us earlier about how you became an entrepreneur. And we would love a quick study on that, if you don't mind.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I was in corporate America in the training and development department at a Fortune 500 company. And after having been promoted to an area trainer in November of that year, I got laid off and found myself for the first time ever being without a job. And I have never been without a job. I've always quit the jobs, but I've never had companies quit on me. So I found myself on a road of uncertainty, and it was right before the holidays. And at the time I was a single mom with 2 kids, and it was scary. It was really scary. And I was angry. And, but that was also, I said to my former boss, a door just shut today, but I know another door is going to open. I just don't know what that is. Just came out of my mouth without thinking.
I love it. And it's so true, right? One door closes, many more can open.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I did. And I started on a journey of figuring out what I wanted to do. And in my research, I learned that a lot of women and men are unhappy with their careers. They're unfulfilled. And through the networking and through learning of a tool, finding your passions, I resonated with that message. And I said, you know, I want to find my passion, and freedom is the word that came out that I wanted to achieve. And I said, I don't want to be at the mercy of a company ever again. And that's really when I embarked on that journey.
I love it.
A coach.
You know, one of the things, and we talk about doors, very early on, I realized that some doors were harder to open. So I became a locksmith. Not a real locksmith, but one that I can open with my mind.
I thought you became a real one.
I'm glad you clarified that because I thought you did too.
Me too.
Just wanted you to think, oh, there's a door. There's an imaginary door, but a lot of us don't even know how to open it or even how to go through it. So I said, there's a lot of people will put doors in your way, or obstacles, if you will. It's
Yes.
understanding that we have the tools to be able to navigate and open. So become a locksmith.
I love that metaphor. That's awesome.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what happens, you guys, is when people, all of us at one point or another, we tend to listen to the wrong people. And then they may have good intentions and everything else, especially those closest around us, family and stuff like that. And when you're going to go on the entrepreneurial journey, okay, you're going to get doors shut on you. You're going to get doors open. You're going to have to climb out windows. You're going to have to go up on the roof, come down the chimney. You're going to have to do a lot of different things. See, we're throwing a lot of metaphors here today. And but we really, you really got to understand that if you're going to embark on this journey, if you're going to start that, you want to become successful in a way, that it is going to be a lot of work and there's going to be a lot of hurdles, but once you can break through those, it's pretty amazing because you can really start to grasp success and really create your own path.
Absolutely. I agree.
Absolutely. It's keep going. Somebody gave me, speaking of metaphors, the stock market metaphor where it goes up and down. And sometimes we pull out when it's down and it always goes back up. So if we just have that persistence and determination and we keep going, following what feels good, we might have to pivot and tweak along the way. But if it's something you're passionate about, you mentioned that word passion, Tina, then you keep going and you follow that and it will work.
Yeah. And, for me, it's finding your why. Like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And it's really getting that deeper. Keep asking why. So when I got laid off, I said, why do I want to be an entrepreneur? It's freedom, flexibility. I want to be in control of my destiny. I want to be in the driver's seat. Yeah, you have ups and downs as an entrepreneur. It's not easy. All right. 6 years later, full-time entrepreneur, because I did go back to a job I did while building my business. But in 2018, finally escaped it for full-time, for real, finally. And today I'm a business coach and an author. Never thought I'd be an author. So, but it's not easy. But I think keep going through the obstacles, like you said, and believing in yourself. Having faith, having that faith that it's going to work out, that door is going to open, or push through those doors that stop you, those obstacles.
I love that the fact that you said it's not easy, because a lot of people think, oh, you're an entrepreneur. Either there's a couple of thoughts that come to people's heads because I've spoken to so many people. One is, oh, so you don't know what you want to do with your life. Another one is,
wow.
So you must be busy all the time, or so probably Richard and I understood this a very long time ago because we've both been entrepreneurs probably around the same time. We realized that at this point, nobody can employ us because we are worth so much, because we bring so much to the table. And I'm not just tooting my horn. I'm just saying for anybody who's been doing it for as long as we have, in order for us to go work for anyone, we actually have to take a pay cut. And do a pay cut when I'm actually following my purpose and my vision to create something every day. So when you asked me, how am I doing early? And I said, exceptional and getting better. And the reason I say that is because every day, if I'm not doing something better than I did yesterday, my day will be wasted. I might as well throw the blankets over my head and put my thumb in my mouth and go to sleep. It's not, I don't sleep that way, by the way. I don't suck my thumb. But just, we have to consider why we get out of bed to begin with. What's the purpose?
Yeah, I think on that is, so I have this thing about snooze alarms, right? So it's a very simple statement. Snooze alarms are for losers. Okay. So please take it personal. Okay. Please take it personal.
I love that.
Okay. Because
No
if
snoozer.
you're doing that, and if you want to go the logic education way, check out all the sleep studies that show it's the worst form of rest ever. That extra 10 minutes, 15 minutes, all it's just horrible for you. And if you literally have to do that, okay, you got to look inside. You got to fix your life. You don't have the purpose to get up. I get up at 4 a.m. every morning, no alarm. I wake up, boom, 4 o'clock. I wake up every day, 7 days a week. I don't take weekends off from getting up early. I don't do any of that stuff, right? I tell my kids, I don't permit snooze alarms, right? None of them use a snooze alarm. All right, just not happening, right? You are up out of bed. And I will come drag you out of bed if you're not up with the alarm that went off. If I heard it go off, I better see you in like less than 60 seconds. Okay, if I'm at the house.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Let's not forget one thing about Richard that he does bring in everything he does. Thank you for your service. He was in the military, right? So when you consider the lessons you learned in the military, waking up at 4 a.m, you didn't have a choice. When you're in the military, there is no snooze alarms at all. You'll be doing extra push-ups if you even consider it. And I love that because if you set your mind to the time you want to get up. Now, don't get me wrong. What if you work the late shift and you don't get home till 2 a.m? Then yeah, getting up at 4 is not going to be feasible for you. But what if 8 o'clock is the time that you need to get up? Or, if you're working the full night shift, you're getting home at 5, 6 in the morning and you go to sleep then, but maybe you're getting up at 3 in the afternoon. Whatever that is, don't set the alarm. Set your intentions. This is the alarm.
Mhm.
So here's the funny thing. When I have meetings most mornings at 6 a.m. But that's me, right? Because I talk to people all over the world. So sometimes for 6 a.m. for me, maybe 12 p.m. for them, right? So it depends. And I've had meetings at 5 in the morning. I've had meetings at whatever it is. I set my intentions of I'm going to get up at this time. Here's the crazy thing. I have someone who wakes me up every without fail. He's up there.
Yep.
Because he gives me purpose to get up without hitting any. I don't even know why I have an alarm clock next to my bed. One day I looked at it, I'm like, oh, so I can see what time it is. But now here's the funny thing. I unplugged it. Reason is I don't need to see what time it is. I'm told what time it is. It's time to get up and go after it. So that's how I wake up every morning.
I love it. Yeah, I don't have an alarm. My husband and I would just get up naturally and every day, and not 4 a.m., Richard. By 6:30, we're up and it's fine. But there's also days that if I want to sleep in on a weekend, I feel that's self-care. I feel that it's just taking care of myself and enjoying my time sleeping.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with. Everyone's got their schedules, right? Mine is just it's a level of discipline. So it doesn't matter if it's 4 a.m. or noon. Yeah. I don't care when it is. My point is, any time of the day, just get up, whatever that time is. Don't lay there, rolling around for an extra 15, 20 minutes. Reaching over and hitting that snooze button and do that stuff. It's just not good for your own self.
Worth.
Well, worth and I'm gonna call it self-respect. Have enough respect for yourself to get up, get going. I have we are defined by our rituals. Okay. So what do you do when you get up? Let's take that. It's the next key to success, not just getting up. So you can get up and walk around your bedroom for an hour. I don't know. And that may work. Right. But I have a complete ritual, a morning ritual that I do. So it's 4 a.m., get ready. Within the first 10 minutes, I've drank 32 ounces of water. I get a special mushroom coffee going. I have 2 cups of that. I do my Bible study. I spend an hour in study and in prayer. And then 5:30, I'm off to the gym. I get an hour hard workout, very, very hard workout, come back home, get cleaned up, make my breakfast, get off to either a podcast guest appearance like this or other additional work, and I get going with my day. But those first 3 to 4 hours are never thrown off. That is how I function. I even have I call it 70 by 7. So I do 70 ounces of water by 7 a.m. That's part of what I do every day. So I start with that 32, throw in the coffee, and then start with the water again. I do 40 ounces of water while I work out. So it's again, that has helped me so much, having that structure in the day, because in business, things are always going to get wonky. No battle plan ever survives the first shot. We have a plan every day, right? So things are going to go wrong. So if you can control that beginning of your day, whatever time that is, you will see you start to really build intention and intensity, both, because you're really dialed in and you're off to a great start every day.
Every day. Yeah, that's why you're in the war room.
That's right.
I'm inspired by this.
I love that.
It's so inspired, and it sounds like I'm the only person who tells herself she needs an alarm to wake up. So I'm going. I have 4 to 5 times set every couple of minutes to get up. So I'm going to commit to setting an intention. I will set the alarm because I've got to be at an 8 o'clock meeting. I can't trust myself yet to just wake up, but I don't have to keep hitting snooze. I can just get up. So thank you guys for the inspiration.
Yes, good.
You use the most important word there, yet. Yes.
Yet.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that when we want to achieve something, we have to start. And we don't get to the end line without going through the start line first. So start. But here's the thing, right? People just like Richard, they probably say to you, when do you rest? I said, when I put my head on the pillow, that's when I rest. That's the time to rest. If I sleep, let me put it to you this way. If for some strange reason I oversleep and I can't recall the last time I did that, my body hurts. Literally, I'm in pain. My body's achy all over, and I'm like, I don't like that feeling. So when I get that call to wake up, I'm like, boom, and I immediately go into gratitude, and I do my prayers, go into gratitude, and yes, my push-ups come right out. Even before I shower, then I shower, more push-ups, all that. So I am constantly moving, and I think to unleash our success starts, like Richard said, with the first actions you take. If the first action you take is to put things off, what does your day look like? What does your day look like? Stop putting things off, people, and you will unleash success beyond your wildest dreams.
I was thinking about this too, Sifu. I was thinking the other night. So I go to bed at 9, right? So I'm going to bed at 9. I'm always like, ooh, hard day. I had a phenomenal work. I just say super hard, long day of doing stuff. I'm like, okay. Then I'm like, got to go to the gym at 5:30. I'm like, and I've learned never to make a decision on what I'm going to do tomorrow like that. Like, maybe I should take a rest day. Maybe I should do this, right? I start to make these justifications why maybe I'm not going to work out. Okay. And I usually work out 5 to 6 days a week. So I'm like, I've learned, okay, wait till after the second cup of your coffee. I don't make any decisions. So it's like, now it's like 5:25. I'm like, I'm going. Okay. And every day I go, there's no day I don't go. So it's like, but in my mind, your mind's going to fight you to take that rest, to justify a reason not to go train, right? Or do anything. So that's been my new part of my ritual. It's part of the decision-making process, right? Do not make a decision to this point. Just like if you go to the gym anyways, and I tell people, if you'll just do the warm-up, commit to only the warm-up, give it 10 minutes, break a sweat. And if you still feel like you can't do it, then go home. But I guarantee you get that core temperature up, right? You sweat a little bit, you are going to continue a workout. Whether it's the greatest one you've ever had or just mediocre, it doesn't matter. You're moving and doing a good thing.
Oh my goodness. There were so many, the both of you, 2 golden nuggets that I've got to point out because I want to make sure people heard them. Sifu, love what you said. If your first action of the day is to put things off, how is that going to set the tone for the rest of your day? So powerful. Another reason for me to just get up immediately when that alarm goes off. And then Richard, talking about when we give ourselves a justification for why not to work out. If you just wait, have that second cup of coffee, put that justification off, then you go to the gym. So it can work both ways for us. It's like, what's going to help me to make the decision that's most aligned with my goals, my values, my identity, and then honor that.
Yeah.
And you know what else? You know what else is one of the entrepreneurial traits, one of the main entrepreneurial traits is self-awareness. Okay. Self-awareness is a key thing. It's like the number one trait of an entrepreneur. You've got to be self-aware, and things like I did that I'm aware, don't make a decision until after the second cup. Okay. Or, I'm aware that I get up and operate this way when I do these rituals. So when we look at that, when we look at our day, yeah, we're running hard. Okay. We have a business to run. We're doing all that stuff, but we also need to understand where energy is increased and where energy is drained. Okay. Yes. So what I've learned to do is, unfortunately, being like Sifu, we've been in over 30 years in entrepreneurship, we really get to design our life. Okay. So I don't do things I don't like. Okay. That's just, I may sound like a small child right now, but I don't like to do those things. So I don't do it. I delegate them, right? I give them to other people. I hire the people to get it done. I want to focus on what just gets me excited. Like being on a show like this, any other podcast I'm on, training people, coaching people, all that stuff that energizes me all day. So I don't have any like real down points. There's always something, right? Don't get me wrong. It's not like I have some perfect life, but I've really been very, very intentional on what I do and what I don't do. And understanding that will really help you grow your business or grow into a business.
And I love what you said, Richard, because when I think about that, as I've been in my business longer, I'm intentional with what communities I'm going to be part of, who I want to work with. I don't have that scarcity mindset to get the client because I need the money. No, I choose the clients I want to work with. I choose the communities that I will belong in. And if it's a community that I'm not getting the value or I'm not getting that, I'm about energy too. I'm not going to be part of it. That has taken me years to get to this point because I used to just go and and I got to be there. No, we don't. So I had to shift my mindset.
That's good for you, Tina. It's really important that you understand that, because that's where productivity comes from, not busyness.
Yes.
Busyness is it's awful. Okay. There's motion and there's progress, right? A rocking horse stays in motion, but doesn't make any progress, right? You're moving, but you're not going anywhere, right? That's a thing that kills so many entrepreneurs. And they get on the hamster wheel. It's just a hamster wheel is all it is. And we can get into that more deep, but just a lot of our whole business is done based on busy and not on productive.
Right.
So we all need to be productive, and really produce, what do you want to call it? Income producing activities, or really scaling, moving the business forward. Again, you have to be intentional when you do that. And that's how you're going to create the success. And that's how you're going to get your freedom, because most people get into business for freedom. Yep. We don't want to work for the man. We don't want to work these hours. We want to make as much as we want to make, all this freedom. But the majority of businesses don't reach that point. They end up, and I called it being trapped in the owner prison. They get trapped in that. They have to do everything. We go down that whole road, but it really is important to understand you have to create your path to freedom. You have to understand what freedom is and what it looks like. It's not just having a business. There's a lot of people who have a business and they can't vacation with their family. They don't go to their kids' games. They don't do anything with their family because they have a business. They have freedom. Okay. And it doesn't serve them at all, right? They're serving the business instead of the business serving them. So that's something to really be aware of if you truly want success.
Oh, without
Absolutely.
a doubt. You have to set your standards also. I mean, for example, in one of my businesses, I close it for 2 weeks, fully closed, and 2 weeks, and I can close 2 weeks. Actually, I can close 4 weeks a year, so only operate 11 months of the year, and it's a full sustainable business. I mean, I pay a lot of rent for this place, and but if I don't set myself up to have that standard, to let my clients know that during this time, if you want me to be the best version of me, I need to go chill. I need to go hang out with my family. I need to go do whatever it is. Don't get me wrong, wherever I am in the world, I'm waking up early, I'm working out, but yet I am still creating. There is People think vacation is when you go and you just sit on a lounge chair and do nothing. And that's good if you're a vegetable. But right? And when I was younger, I thought that was the ultimate. I got to go to some beach somewhere and just sit there. And when I did that, I realized I'm like, I am bored. I didn't come on vacation to be bored. I came on vacation to be inspired. So when you actually take a vacation, it may be a vacation from your mundane, everyday routine, because we kind of need that in order to have that success we're looking for. But vacation should be a chance to grow who you are as a business and as a person, and so that you can bring more value to whomever you're serving. Even if you work a 9-to-5 job and you go on vacation, could you come back a better version of you so they will see who you are, and maybe you'll get a raise? If they don't see that, then you need to raise yourself and find someone else who sees your value. I just had a client of mine who went from being at a company for 16 years, they didn't see his value. They treated him like crap. And this guy's an engineer, I mean, a high-level engineer. And finally, after training and so forth, he put his resume out there. He was afraid that other people were not going to value him, just like the company he's been with. He landed a job, and immediately he realized, I am worthy. I am amazing. And not only did he realize it, but the company who hired him did so because they gave him more responsibilities. He did what he normally did, but he was more excited about it. So he was able to bring more flavor, more desire to his work. And he's been there less than 6 months. And he just told me this week he got his own corner office.
Wow.
And he has a team that he's now leading. And this is a guy his boss used to treat him like crap. And it's because when we understand who we are and how we show up, I think it speaks volumes. He is by far the happiest person. And he goes, wow, if it took him 6 months to realize my potential. I said, no, you're wrong. I said, they saw your potential when they hired you. It's the other people who missed out on you.
That's right.
So you can forget about them, but focus on the people who actually acknowledge your worth. And I said, that corner office, that's just to start, my friend. I said, keep doing what you're doing. Let's keep working together. And eventually you won't just be having an office with your own team. You'll be running that full department. But let's keep working together. And you have to believe, not in little things that you think you're going to do with your life, but you have to believe that you're going to do tremendous things with your life because you're here for a purpose. So
I love what you said. I love what you said, Sifu, about knowing your value and really being confident and communicating your value, because people can take advantage of you. And this is why, when you're in working for a company, there's bosses. I mean, I've worked for bosses that, they just are just horrible. I think the number one reason why a lot of people don't work out in companies is because of horrible managers. They shouldn't even be a manager, and yet they're managing you. But you got to know your value, your worth, and communicate that. And it's all in how your persona, your body language, your communication, and don't stay in a place that's not valuing you. It's up to you to make that decision.
That's
And
right.
I think jumping back on one thing you were talking about on the vacations and resting. So it's called recreation, right? What's the first part of that? Recreate. Right. So you always think about it. We're always to go. And that's the whole idea. I was never a fan of vacations. Never. I just love to work all the time. I had to teach myself. But what I learned was, me and a buddy, we wanted to climb all the 14,000 foot mountains in the Rockies. Right. So like, let's start on that. We'll go do that. We'll go 10 days a year and we'll hump them out every day, or I'll take a break in between and we'll do that. And we started doing that for like 10 years. Going through all the 14ers. And it was, again, to us, it's an athletic endeavor. So, I'm still not quite right on the head, but we're going to be first up in the morning. Okay. We're going to beat everybody to the top of this mountain every day, no matter what the climb is. But that was so awesome. And in between the rest days, I cook a lot. So I'm cooking for us. We knew a lot of people in the area. We'd stay at their houses or wherever we were. Right. So we're just having a great time, really live it up in between, rest up, go hit another mountain the next day. And I came back just feeling amazing, right? It was just awesome because you're achieving something great, right? You're seeing literally from 14,000 feet, right? You're seeing the whole Colorado. Every time you're inspired all the way. And I'm a rock guy, right? That was my first business, was custom water features, boulders. I am surrounded by boulders. So I am 100% inspiration. And I'm literally driving around, like whether it's Denver or Breckenridge or Aspen, I'm like, these people, you're in Colorado. You can't even place a stone properly, because I'm all about looking natural stuff. I'm also saying, man, if I had these rocks, so I'm like doing business, but I'm climbing, I'm relaxing, I'm achieving things. So really, when you're able to put that package together, it's like you're saying, Sifu, make it something. Don't just go and sit on the beach. I mean, you can, but maybe you go sit on the beach for 2 hours and then go do something else. Like make it part of your day. I did that, and stuff, and it's great. But really have incredible dinners. Don't just go get Domino's or something. Like go sit down and have a multi-course meal and like live. Like let people serve you. Just sit there and just soak this in. It's amazing. You start doing that kind of stuff. You just realize like there's an incredible life I can live because I work for myself. Right? I can do this. I just have to look for it, find it, then experience it. And then you either come back super refreshed, right, full of new ideas and energy, or if you're going back to a job too, you're going back energized for that job so you can perform well for those you're working for.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Recreate. I love that. Recreation.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's first I've heard of it. Recreate. And something I heard in what you all were talking about was how powerful changing environments can be. Getting out of one environment that you're in, like Sifu, the person you were talking about that went to a different job and suddenly he saw his value and he started feeling energized and he was a different person. So changing environments and even changing people and just kind of leaning into those people who energize you, who fuel you, who bring out those positive aspects and parts of you. It can really be a difference maker, I've noticed.
Yes, definitely.
You just said something really powerful. Look, all of us did not know each other that long ago, but each one of you are bringing me value. So I want to thank you for that. And consider any time you make a connection with another person. A lot of people, they're trying to sell themselves. But what I like to do is I like to sit back and see what is it that you're giving me without realizing you're giving me. So I'm not a taker, I'm a giver. But when the right time is, man, I am going to take. I'm going to take it in, right? I'm going to absorb what you're offering me. Because if you consider and you guys, we're all on the same topic of success. How do we unleash that? How do we think differently? How do we go into a different environment? When I am on vacation, yes, I go, listen, I love Las Vegas. And people go, oh, you gamble a lot? I'm like, no, I go to Las Vegas because I am the cheapest gambler, but I am the biggest winner. I literally put $100 in my left pocket, and I changed $100 for chips. Then I go to the table with it's $25. It doesn't matter. I love blackjack, and I'll play. And then whatever winnings past 100 go in my left pocket. They don't get touched. Once I lose that $100 worth, I'm out, and whatever's in my pocket is my winnings.
Exactly.
And so I always win. Let's say for some reason I went to a $25 table and I lost 4 times in a row. I'm like, oh, I know the 5th one's going to do it. Let me pull out another $25. No, I'm done. But it's always about people. I'm a people watcher. I love seeing people interact. I've put down $100 and walked away like in 30 minutes, like, a couple of $1,000, because that left pocket, my hand doesn't go in it to take out, only goes in to put away. But the people watching is the real win for me, because I see how people interact. And then I also see how people run businesses. So when I go to a restaurant, I see how they run that business. When I go into a store, I see how they run the business. So I may be on vacation. I may be at a hotel. I look at how the people who are cleaning the rooms are doing it, how they even communicate with each other, and how anytime if I ask anything of them, I take the time not to demand something from them, but request something. And then I give them value, because even if they're not, and I've had this happen before, if they're not taking care of my space, but they're somewhere else, I'll still give them a tip. And they're like, what is this for? I'm not even in your floor. I'm like, that's okay. Because maybe I was visiting or doing something. And I'm like, because you're worth it. But when we can bring everything forward and make other people feel like they're worthy, then we're worthy. When we elevate somebody else, by elevating them, they project us way up high. So continue doing what you're all doing. You are all amazing. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Great E-word, elevate.
I think I think also what you're saying, like, I love to acknowledge people are really good at what they do. Again, like you said, it could be a different floor, it could be a guy on the other side of the restaurant. I was on a plane once watching 2 different stewardesses, or whatever they call them, flight attendants, now. But like, I'm watching one like so efficient, she's crossing trays and stacking, and watch the other one who's just an absolute hot mess. Okay, you could tell. Like, I'm just with a buddy of mine. We were going out to California. I'm like, let's watch this. Watch the difference between these two. And the one was just everything's down, then quick, easy, efficient, serving everyone. The other one is just a nightmare. I go, there's the difference. There's the difference. Someone who's like into what they do, they've figured things out. They've created efficiencies. They want to be efficient. The other person is just struggling through, right? So it's really important that we understand who we surround ourselves with is one of the most critical things as an entrepreneur, because it is lonely, right? You are kind of by yourself a lot of times, but your circles may be small, but if you have the right people, like bringing 4 of us together and we're able to, share our experiences, that elevates us as well. Right. But we also learn from each other. So you're always going to get people. And I always prefer they're in different places than I am. It's like I use the public school analogy. Well, if my 15-year-old has to be in the class with 30 other 15-year-olds, what's he going to learn? Nothing. Okay. They know the same dumb stuff he does. So they're not going to be elevated by 30 other kids their age. They all have the same experience. Right. They don't know anything. It's the old one room schoolhouse, right? All different kids, different ages are all helping each other, learning and teaching stuff they've learned. So that's what we got to do as entrepreneurs too. surround yourself with people of varied experiences, success, and everything else, that alone, you can't even put a price on it, what it'll do for you.
So true.
Don't judge someone by their overalls, right? One time I was at a restaurant and the busboy was amazing. I left my tip at the table, but I asked somebody, I said, "Where's that busboy that was running?" They're like, "Oh, he's over there." I went over there and I gave him a tip, and I said it privately. I said, "This is for you, not anybody else," because I know how they all have to split the tips.
Mhm.
And then I found the manager, and I said, "By the way, that guy over there, it was a long time ago, so I found out his name, and I said, he is in the wrong position.
Mm.
He's
Good
in
for
the
you.
wrong position." I said, because he actually probably should be your manager. He was that good, right?
Wow.
So the guy's like, "Oh, wow, really?" I said, "Well, absolutely." I said, "And if you don't, I might take him from you." So the other thing that I do is I have a card. I don't have it on me, but I have a card that when I go out to places, it's I call it like the celebrity card. And I give it to someone and I say, "Are you happy here? If you're looking for happiness and you're looking to be treated right, I'm going to give you something that will change your life."
Mm.
Really? I said, "Yeah, it's a card to come work for me." So I'm stealing people who are amazing, because why should they stay there if no one sees them?
Exactly.
So
See,
I am always looking to see who can I hire. And a lot of people don't believe it if you just say it to them. But if I give them this card, has a star on it, right? It's got a gold star. It's a red card because people like action, right? And I give them this card, and it lets them know that I value them, and that if they're interested in leveling up, I can help them if they come be part of my team. So I'm recruiting. I'm always recruiting. You never know who the next genius out there that can help you build an empire. So always
Yeah, I always tell my clients, my business owners, that you only want to hire the employed. You don't want to hire the unemployed unless they got let go yesterday and they contact you. But if you're starting in a bad place if they're unemployed, like what I did in 2000, when the economy was amazing, 5.6% unemployment, which means anyone who didn't have a job didn't want one. So good luck finding someone to work. So I'm like, this is people. 7 people would call me in a day wanting a job. I tell them, show up with your boots and a lunch. The next day, nobody shows up. Okay, they don't want a job, right? So I'm like, I started going to the Home Depot, Lowe's, stuff like that. I'm like, oh, look at this guy. He's picking materials. Doing this. Hey, man, what's your story? Well, I work for so-and-so, work for this company. You like it? Yeah, it's all right. Oh, that's interesting. Hey, if you're ever looking for a change, same thing you're doing, Sifu, same thing. I'm like, these guys, first, someone's giving them responsibility. They're purchasing materials for jobs, so they're trusted, right? They don't own the company, but they're doing this, right? They're out doing it. They're driving a company truck. All of a sudden, I want that guy because you'll be way happier with me because I run a great company, so it's the same thing, but it just goes back to the philosophy of, who you're looking for. If you're hiring for a pulse, well, you know what you're going to get. I don't even know how long the pulse will last if you hire that way, right? Because they're going to leave in like 2 days. So it's an interesting thing. And you see it in different industries, the way they hire and stuff like that. But it really comes down to who the owner is, how they're running their business, the culture they've created, all this stuff that you can draw great talent. And again, if you draw great talent, maybe you're a good salesperson or a marketer for hires, but if they come in and your business is a hot mess, they're leaving because they want to come in and get going, right? They want to hit the road. They want to jump into a fast moving vehicle, right? They don't want to jump into something. They got to get the jumper cables and get a jump to start the car, right? So they want to come in and drive, right? So we got to think about that when you're doing that kind of stuff and looking for great people. There's more to it than just finding the great person. There's a lot of great people, but if you're going to invite them in, Sifu, I know you're dialed in. If you're going to invite them in, it better be. It's like not cleaning your house and telling someone to come over. You going to do that? Do you want somebody? Hey, why don't you come over? My place is beautiful. And meanwhile, you're stepping over 9 things just trying to get past the front door, right? So it's that kind of attitude you have to think about your business. What are you inviting them into?
Oh, yeah. It's very interesting when, and I know we're about to wrap it up, but when I was dating, somebody said, "Hey, why don't I come to your house and then we'll go to the restaurant from there?" I'm like, very interesting. So they actually wanted to see the kind of house that I lived in order for them to make a judgment. And I said, fine, come in. And so we had some fruit and stuff. And then before we left, I washed the dishes. And they're like, why don't you just put them in the sink? I said, well, because there's no dishes in my sink, and there will never be dishes in my sink because they're supposed to be clean. That's how, and they go like, oh my gosh, you like clean. You do this and your house is clean. And there's not like, if I open a closet, things not going to fall all over me. She said that she went to, she had a date prior. This is, I would say about 20 years ago. She says she went to somebody's, she always did that. And I found out later why she did it. She wanted to know the kind of person they were inwardly, right? What mattered to them. And she said she went to a guy's thing. He lived in a walk-up. There was pizza boxes on the stairs on the way up to his apartment. There were bottles, there were things. And she goes, she didn't even make it to the top of the stairs. She goes, oh, I forgot, I got to go. She left. But
That's
think about it, right? If we don't live the same way everywhere we go, then who are we? How do we show up on a regular basis without being two-faced, if you will, right? So it's important for us to understand that the values that you bring should be the values that you have when nobody's around. That's integrity, my friends, right?
That's right. That's right.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Great conversations today. I love this.
Yes, very eye-opening. Lots of awareness.
I know. I learned so much more.
We all do.
I have some notes. I always take notes.
Oh, yes. Yes, always. There's always something to learn. We've never arrived that we don't need to learn anymore.
That's
That to
right.
me is
You can hear things. What's that, Tina?
That to me is arrogance when you think you've arrived and nothing else to learn. No, we all do.
We all do. And sometimes we've got to be ready to hear something. There's things that I have heard hundreds of times and I understood it intellectually, but that was really it. And then there came the day where it just landed so differently. And it was like it just kind of takes your breath away.
Yeah, the light bulb went on.
The light bulb goes on. So we've got to hear things multiple times because we've got to be ready sometimes to hear something.
Yes.
Yeah. I think too, I tell people there's no substitution for being in the room. Right. So we can learn and we can read stuff, but when you get with people, especially physically, like Zoom's cool, all this, that's great. But when you get in the room with people, whether it's a mastermind or a conference, there's an energy level there so you can get input, right? You're in a different situation. That energy opens you to see things, hear things, and feel things that you can't get from other media sources, right? So if you ever have the opportunity to go to live events, right, to go to a conference, get invited to a mastermind, like do everything you can to be there. You will get more out of a day or two in the room than you will a month of reading and training and, chatting with people. But it's so powerful. I mean, and the good ones, you're literally implementing things in your business as you're there and things are happening. I mean, those are the good ones, right? If you've ever been to one of those, they're powerful and they're worth doing. So I just encourage you, if you're on either as an entrepreneur right now or looking to get on the entrepreneurial path, get in a room. Go find where people are doing, find where these people are gathering and get in there and you will walk away. You will save. It's time compression. The years of knowledge in a room like that are unbelievable. The wisdom, everything that's there, and you can just be there and be a sponge and just take that stuff and it'll do amazing things for you.
Very true.
One of the things that we we're able to do, Nikki, you and I, is that this show is probably supposed to be a half hour, it's supposed to be over 20 minutes ago, but we're loving the conversation and we're able to stick it out a little bit longer. So great conversation, everybody. And yes, but don't get into a room where you're the smartest person. At least have a few other people smarter than you, because there's nothing wrong if you're invited into a room to teach, because people need to know what you know. But if you actually pay attention, don't be so high up on the pedestal that you don't see that there's other people who may not have your expertise, but they have their own expertise. And they may be well versed in something that you're not. So it's a matter of, if you go into a room, it's not about you. It's about who's in the room, and communicate people. This is why I love communication so much. Without it, where would we be?
Yeah,
right.
I think it's back to self-awareness. Understand your audience, understand the room you're in, listen, look, observe, do that kind of stuff first, and see, and just measure people. Okay, I got this. Because I get a room, help a lot of people. I've been doing this for a long time, but I also can learn from those same people, because they may be a little ahead on something newer, or I'm not that I'm resistant, but I got things going, right? But I always love, whether it's AI or some other marketing strategy or something like that, they may not have even an ounce of what I have, but the thing they have can change my business as well, right? Because they're just had that piece that I'm missing. So everyone has value. Just remember that everybody's got value.
So true.
Well, I want to thank you guys.
Thank
Nikki,
you.
Thank you. This was a great conversation. Exceptional conversation.
Thank you
Biggie.
so much.
epic as
It's extraordinary. It was extraordinary.
Yeah, we really elevated things. So
We did.
the ease. Well, the ease are coming out.
I'm still excited. I'm still excited too.
I'm excited too. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes,
This has been great.
you're welcome. Thank you.
guys, by the way, tomorrow Richard and I are going to have a one-on-one. So if you guys at 10 a.m., we're going to have a one-on-one where I get to dive deep into who this gentleman is. So please come join us. Come in the chat, ask questions, because we're going to open up this beautiful onion.
It's a deep hole. It's a deep hole. Bring a ladder.
There you go. Bring a ladder. Bring some ladder. When you open an onion, you're going to tear up a little bit.
That's right.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Have an exceptional rest of the day, everybody.
Yes.
Bye. Have a great day.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.